Hello there, welcome to Lasting Love Couples TV show. Lasting Love is a forum where issues relating to love, attractions and challenges are discussed. It's a platform where we talk about different issues relating to marriage. It's also a place where we learn more about what God's plan is concerning marriage. I am Fumi Adeye. My guests today have been married for 20 years. Patrick is a founder of PGS. It's an organization that works with the youth to tackle crime and antisocial behaviors. His wife, Claudine, is actually a trainer. She's a motivational speaker, and she's on television and radio as well. Together, they have defined love as sacrificial, selfless, and giving. Please watch this.
Introducing myself, Claudine Reid, the wife of Patrick Reid, the mother of 2 teenage children. I'm an author, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a social enterprise ambassador, I am a community transformation agent.
My name is Pat Reid. I am a husband, I'm a father, I suppose you should say I'm a minister, but I'm also an entrepreneur. I would say, what you call a social entrepreneur.
I would describe myself as ambitious, focused, driven, strategic, a no-nonsense kind of woman. Fun-loving, courageous, audacious, understanding, enthusiastic, innovative, and nurturing.
I'll say I'm a phenomenal guy. I'm a great guy. Very loving, very kind, but extremely patient. But coupled with that, you need a lot of patience to deal with me. But all in all, I'm up for adventure. I'm up for fun. I love to laugh, love to have jokes. And I think I'm a very good father and a husband.
How would I describe Patrick? Patient, ambitious, tenacious, very reliable, innovative, calm-natured, and he loves a kick in life. And when I say a kick in life, I mean fun-loving.
How would I describe my wife? Well, my wife, she's phenomenal. She's the girl of my dreams, and I think that God loaned me her from heaven. I think she's really an angel that came down. She's kind, she's loving, she's extremely patient. She's very determined, she's very industrious.
The most romantic thing that Patrick has done is a really hard question, because over the last 20 years that we've been married, there have been, it feels like one big romance. But if I could capture it, I'd say it's the little things that Patrick does. He recognises that I love quality time. So any time when my children were younger, he'd whisk them away or get somebody to look after them, my mum or a family member, and he would arrange dinner, or he'd arrange for us to go away. It's the surprises. If I could capture it in one word, it's the surprises.
One day, I got her stuff together, came in one evening, she came in, I whisked her away. She didn't know where she was going. I love to do everything. I always take her away. Took her to a hotel uptown. She didn't know where she's going. We spent the night in the Savoy. That was gorgeous. We had dinner there. We had a room there. And that's all I'll tell you guys, because the rest is not for you.
And the most romantic thing that I've done for Patrick, I think, I cannot remember which birthday it was. In fact, I didn't tell him where we were going, and I whisked him off to Paris for the day.
She whisked me away one time and took me way out into the country. And when I looked, we were at the airport, and she had booked flying lessons for me. Flying lessons, that was awesome! I just flew an airplane. Can you believe I flew an airplane? That was just phenomenal.
How romantic am I? On a scale of 1 to 10, I'd say 7.
How romantic am I on a scale of 1 to 10? 12. I think I'm quite romantic.
How romantic is Patrick? On a scale of 1 to 10, I'd say 7. That's why we're good for each other.
And how romantic on a scale of 1 to 10 is good. I think the issue is this, really and truly. You know when you get in those moods and in those moments, anything goes down. So I'll give her 11 as well, you know what I'm saying? She's up there. The mood has to be right, everything has to be going, the scene has to be set, and anything can happen after that.
Patrick and Claudine, you are welcome.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for coming on Last in Love show.
It's a pleasure.
I feel really blessed to have you here. Thank you. Now, tell me, Patrick, how was it like growing up? Tell me about your background and how life was when you were growing up as a child.
No, that's very interesting. I was born in Jamaica. So I spent my first 6 years in Jamaica. I came over here when I was 6. So growing up in Jamaica was phenomenal, as far as I can remember. And then I came over here, a little bit of adjusting to a family who I didn't know, but I had an awesome childhood, great family, and very loving, very caring, with my mum and my dad and 5 other brothers and sisters. So it was awesome.
Right. How about yours, Claudine?
Very different to Patrick's.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I grew up in a 2-parent family until I was about 5 years old. My parents separated, although both parents were very active in my life, but I grew up as an only child for 12 years. So with that responsibility of being the elder sibling, this older child syndrome also comes into play. But I had a very disciplined upbringing, and when I say disciplined, I mean my mum, she made us toe the line. You go to school, you do your work, you work as hard as you can. So it was disciplined, but I think it's that discipline that kind of shaped me into the person that I am. In terms of the upbringing, always been responsible, but I think that's just by nature of being the eldest person or the eldest sibling all of the time. But I had a good upbringing.
So would you say your parents were very strict with you?
Yes, my mum was more strict than my dad. My mum was strict because I lived with her. My dad, I think he was less strict because I didn't live with him. Right. But yes, definitely, you're not getting away with anything with my mum. No.
Not at all.
No.
Right, well, that helped shape your life, didn't it?
Absolutely. So no complaints. Absolutely no complaints.
No regret as well.
Absolutely.
Right. Now, Patrick, tell me the story. How exactly did you meet and how did you fall in love with her?
Oh, very interesting. Well, I'd met Claudine, I'd seen her, I should say, on the church scene because our paths crossed during church. Now, my parents, my dad was a pastor and my mom the first lady, so we were PKs, preacher's kids. And so we were everywhere in church. So our paths would cross every now and then. But one day she came to work at my business. She was looking for a year's work experience. My brother had set her up with, to get somewhere to work. So that's when I came in contact with her on a closer basis. Right. And got to know her, who she was, saw her characteristics, saw how phenomenal she was. I think every time she came in the office, she brought a sense of assurance that everything was going to be all right. She was there, she was very capable, she was smart, she was on the ball, very intellectual. So I loved that. I loved her characteristics. So that's what I saw, and I liked that. But when the year was almost up, the year had just started really. To lose her would be devastating.
Really?
So the best way to not lose her
was to keep her.
Marry her.
Oh, that's true actually.
And now I've got a phenomenal worker on the cheap because she was now my wife, you know, and it was just phenomenal. But together we were an awesome couple in business, in impacting our communities. Seems as if we had the same vision and mindset, but we were awesome together. Absolutely.
But Claudine, did you have a clue, or did you have a hint that it was actually trying to woo you over?
No, because Patrick explained I was doing a 1 year
Job
intern
experience. Yeah.
placement. I had just come back from living in Europe, doing part of my business degree, so I didn't go to work to get a husband. I just wanted to finish my degree, but maybe 4 months into being in the placement, he went off on a family holiday and left me in charge of the business. And it was only when he was calling me every single day from the Caribbean, I thought maybe something could be going on here, because I'm quite capable and you don't really need to be calling me every single day to check how things are going. But I had no real idea. It was just, you know, I don't know if you just had a thought, but nothing tangible to hold on to. And so, so that's what happened.
Well, for me, I think that was what cemented my relationship with her. When I went away, now I'm leaving the business, turning over, you know, hundreds of thousands into a relatively new person. Can I trust them? I don't know this person. That was what cemented my love for her. It was trust. I trusted her implicitly with my business, and she made everything run like clockwork. That was when I didn't want her to go.
Like, no, I would do that actually. Yeah. So, were you not attracted to him, Claudine? Be honest now.
100%. Initially, no, because I had written out a 5-year plan, and my 5-year plan entailed finishing off my degree. I was going to go and live with my cousin in America. I was going to learn to drive. I was going to do all these things, and so a relationship was way further down the list. But I think I like maturity. I'm not attracted to younger guys, and I don't mean to be disrespectful to any guy who's younger than me, but I'm attracted to intellect. I think the word actually is sapiosexual. I'm attracted to intellect. I like the fact that we can have intellectually stimulating conversation, and Patrick demonstrated that. I'm not sure if it was because of his maturity, because of his experience in life, but that's what I was attracted to more than, you know, you hear some women say, oh, he's got a nice car, he's got nice eyes, he's got, all those things are immaterial. But can we get on?
Wow, that's fantastic. So how long did you court for, Claudine?
We're talking whirlwind. Our courtship probably lasted about 3 months,
If
roughly.
that.
So we had known each other for maybe intensely 4 months, because we were working together. I started in August. Patrick proposed in February, and we were married by June.
Really?
Less than a year.
Oh yeah.
Wow. So, but how were you convinced that this would work, Patrick?
I think the issue is this: there was no nervousness, there was no uncertainty. I didn't tremble at any time. There was a sort of a peace with myself. I was very relaxed, and I was so assured that this was the person I'd love forever, because she ticked all the boxes for me. You know, she had, as I said, that moral, that integrity, you know, that sort of old-fashioned sort of brought up, you know what I mean, in church and what have you. But she had the intellect, and of course, you know, obviously she was beautiful physically, but the inside she was a beautiful person. And that is what is so crucial to me. We can speak on and discuss on an intellectual level. That's crucial to me.
It is key.
And we were easily to talk and everything.
Right. Did you go, did you pray about this before you actually went ahead?
Yes, because when Patrick proposed to me over dinner on the 13th of February 1996, my response was, can I tell you tomorrow? Can I answer you tomorrow? And I thought
just
about
tomorrow?
it.
Just tomorrow?
Yeah. You know, this. Remember, I'm the eldest sibling, so I'm quite responsible. I don't make a rash or rush decision. But I think by the time we had got to dinner, Patrick's very respectful and honourable, and I knew that he had spoken to my mum. So I kind of had an inclination of what was going to happen. Kind of like, which guy speaks to somebody's parents before they speak to me? And I thought, okay, something's up here. This is not straightforward. So I was kind of psychologically prepared. Prepared before the dinner, but I still needed to make sure that I was balanced and I didn't make this rush decision because it was really great and we had flowers, and I'm just not that type of person, and I believe until death us do part. So I needed one more night just to be 100% sure. And so yes, and that surety, as Patrick said, it was about that peace of mind. It was about you know, he had spoken to my mum already, and my mum, she's our prayer covering for myself and my siblings, and she had a peace and assurance. And Patrick's a really calm guy. He comes with no scandals, you know, no baggage, no other people coming out the woodwork to tell you other stories. Did you know that? We never had any of that, and so that also brought peace of mind.
Absolutely, it would. Supposing she said to you, "No, I'm not interested," what would you have done?
Who, Claudine?
Yeah.
That'd have been very interesting.
Didn't think about that.
No. I don't do rejection very well.
Oh, yeah, I like that. Well, thank you.
But I think my charm would win her over.
Oh, yeah, I believe so. It did anyway.
Well, I've been here for 10 years.
Oh, wow, thank you. You're watching Lasting Love. We'll be right back after the break.
We'll be right back. It is a lasting love.
You're welcome back, and this is Lasting Love, and I'm here today with Patrick and Claudine Reid. Now, we were talking about courtship the other time. In this day and age, what duration are you going to give to young people to actually court for?
That's a very interesting question. Claudine, what would you say?
Oh my goodness, it's scary. Things have changed so much.
Indeed.
I think young people need time to discover themselves, to understand their strengths, their development areas, to understand each other. I think because they have so much screen time, I mean TV screen time, mobile phone, laptop time, Skype, and Viber and all other, you know, social media platforms, those are not how real relationships are developed. So you can have, when you ask about what duration of time would you give to young people, I don't know if we could say a set time, but as a parent of 2 teenage children, I'd really want to see them in different environments. I'd want to see them, you know, with who they're claiming to be the love of their life. And I'd really like to be able to just make my own assessment so I have peace of mind. Of course, I can't choose their spouse for them, but I think, I don't know if it's as straightforward as saying you need 12 months or you need, I think
minimum.
Yeah, but I think it's about them being personally at a place where they're responsible, they understand life, they've had some experiences, good experiences and some maybe challenging experiences, because I believe it develops character.
It does.
You know, what happened when you thought this was going to be the plan and it didn't go according to plan? Did you curl up in a ball and cry, and then next week you tell me you want to get married? Because you can't bring that sort of character into a relationship. So I don't know if it's as straightforward as saying a set time, more about how developed is that individual.
And that's what I said. It would be more about the age that they're at, the maturity that they're at.
Maturity as opposed to age.
I always encourage my young people, I tell them, do not get married under 20. Do not get married under 20. I think you need that maturity, you need that life experience. I think you still haven't developed yet the pre-cortex of your mind isn't developed fully until you're 24. So what you like, especially with me, what I liked at 16 was not what I wanted at 20.
True.
What I wanted at 20 was completely different from what I wanted at 25, you know. So as a 16-year-old, I wanted to get married, I was looking for a playmate. But at 25, I'm looking for a business partner, someone who's going to travel this journey of life with me, someone who has a potential in order, the earning power that we're going to need to pay for the kids that we want, the lifestyle we want, the house we want, etc., etc. So, your whole consciousness is different from a teenager from 25 or 30. You know what you want in life. You know the journey you're going on in life, and you know who you want to partner with on that life's journey, because it's an adventure, and the two of you need to be dynamic, a dynamic duo.
You're right. Now, Claudine, before young people get married, what do you expect them to put into place before they ever think of getting married at all?
That's a really, really good question, and I guess it's linked to the first question that you asked, because I think there's a lot of soul searching that needs to be done. So when you say what things, there's the practical things you need to put in place.
Absolutely,
of course,
absolutely.
Finances,
Absolutely.
education. If you have the capacity to perhaps earn, pay down on a property, if you have the capacity to do that, those are the practical things. Brush up on your domestic skills. Make sure you can cook before you leave home.
Yeah.
But I think there's also some important character things that you need to be able to find out. Are you a nice person? Do you smile? Can you be happy even when things are not going your way? Are you willing to compromise? How do you manage conflict? How do you manage situations with your friends, with your siblings when you don't get your own way? I think there are some personal characteristics that young people need to be able to identify and realize themselves when they are not being nice. Realize themselves when actually I'm taking too much than what I'm giving. Actually, I'm giving too much than what I'm receiving, and be able to identify what situations are good for them and what situations are toxic for them. And I think, so you asked in terms of preparation, but I think life is a journey, and young people and adults should be able to look at those scenarios or look at those situations and use them as stepping stones to get them to the ultimate place of purpose or destiny with their spouse.
Fantastic.
That's a great question that you asked, and I look at your education. I'm saying max that out. If you want to get your doctorate, your master's, your degree, your profession, focus on that first. Relationship, that'll come.
It will.
Focus on your education. Focus on your development. Focus on your worldview. You've got to be bigger than just tooting. My next door neighbor. Because what happens is, so many times people are just trapped in the girl next door, because that's all you know. Whereas the big world out there, where I always say this. That's why I say don't look at just the beauty, because you'll see the girl next door and she's beautiful.
Absolutely.
And she's the world to me. But I'm telling you, as soon as you jump over to Croydon, then you'll see beautiful girls. Come on now.
Absolutely.
But you take a plane, you go to Jamaica, then you see some beautiful girls. You go to so I say travel, get a world view, really experience life, but more than all, focus on your education. Max that out. When you're doing your degree, when you're doing a master's, and you want to get that A grade, you don't want distractions. You don't want to be worrying about children, mortgage, rent, house, wife, she needs this, she needs that, we want to go there. Don't cumber yourself with all of that in your mind when you're trying to develop. So it's about pursuing the wholeness of who you are. You don't even know who you are.
Absolutely.
For you to pick up a wife and then want to lead her on a journey. Where are you going?
Absolutely.
Who are you?
Absolutely.
So it's about a discovery of yourself. Challenge yourself. Stretch yourself. Take life on and really take some risks, some adventures. Start businesses, explore, as I said, educationally, explore, have adventure, travel, expand your worldview. You can make mistakes while you're young. because it's just you.
Yeah, sure.
But when you're older, you don't want to make mistakes because you have wife, you have kids, you have mortgage, you have this, and everything will come crashing down. So live your life as a single person, explore, develop, educate, and know who you are, know your journey and what you want before picking up someone else and saying, come on a journey with me. Where are you going? Hello?
Exactly. Now, just because you have a Christian background before you got married, can I just ask that, I know it's you had a short courtship, but did you completely abstain from sex before marriage?
Yes, 100%.
Really?
Yes.
How were you able to do that?
Discipline, focus, and respect, I think, for each other, respect for our morals, respect for our principles, and I think just a level of respect for each other.
Did you lay that down as a boundary you must not cross yet?
I don't think we needed to. I think because of our background, because of the respect that we had for each other, we didn't need to say we're not going to do this. We didn't need to say that. And I think, all of your previous questions have been really, really good, because it's almost like a foundation that we're building on. This is about knowing yourself. It's about knowing what your limitations are and knowing, or actually I'm too close to something that I can't deal with. I think we were both respectable for ourselves. Respectable people to ourselves. Listen, my mother taught me my self-respect was way over 100. It was off the scales. So I had lots of men pursuing interest, but if your interest doesn't move past the physical in terms of what you see, then I'm not interested, so we won't be having any further conversation. And I think I just grew that discipline, and some guys used to tell me all the time how I thought that I was too nice and they can't speak to me, but actually yes, I am too nice for me to be another number in your phone book. Absolutely not.
Amazing.
And I think that's what I really like, because as I said, I'm a PK, I'm a pastor's kid, so you've got that built-in standard, but it's a promise I made to God personally. Depends on my relationship.
Really?
I wasn't going to have sex before marriage. No. And I know that when we were married, that cemented our relationship, because she was the only girl that I'd ever had sex with. The sex goes beyond the physical. It's very much spiritual.
It is indeed.
It's giving of yourself, all of who you are, to an individual, and that person giving themselves to you. So before anything happens physically, you accept that person spiritually and say, I'm giving myself to you. Before we got married, and we were in a courtship stage, I said to Claudine, I am going to give my heart to you. To keep. And I literally held her hand and said, I'm giving you my heart to keep. Please look after it. Don't drop it. Don't break it. Don't misuse it or mishandle it. I'm giving it to you because I think you're a safe pair of hands. The heart is the most sensitive part of who you are. And I hadn't given my heart to anybody. This was the first person I was doing. It's the most sensitive, and that's where the trust came in. I'm giving it to you because I trust that you'll carry it. And I think the spiritual element, or the non-physical element of love, is what you give first, to accept that person in your life, and you give in your heart to that person so she becomes your world, your everything. That is the first step that you make. You don't receive a person in until you say, yes, I'm going to have you, or yes, I want to give myself to you. And people don't understand the spiritual level.
No. I think we need more enlightenment in that area. Quickly, Claudine, when he gave you his heart, how did you feel?
I'm a responsible person, and so just backtracking again, I've always been in positions of responsibility. I'm the eldest of my siblings, I'm the eldest in my family. I came to the company to work, and all of a sudden he's gone on holiday with his family and left me in charge. I'm the youngest one in the office. So it just added to the level of responsibility that I had. But now this is from a very different perspective. Now this is serious. Nobody's ever given me their heart before. But if I've managed life and I've managed situations and I've managed siblings and I've looked after my home, and I'm from a single parent household, and so if I learn how to manage all of the things that come along with that, then looking after a heart, bearing in mind I was very young, we're talking 20 years ago. I'm still young now. But to me it was just a responsibility that I feel that I was ready to take on. If I can add, we've been married for 20 years. 5 years ago, we reaffirmed our wedding vows. So we managed to fit into our original wedding clothes. I wore my same dress that I wore in 1996. Patrick wore his same suit that he wore in 1996.
Wow, that's
But I'm
amazing.
saying that because the vows, it was 15 years later. To repeat those vows again for me meant more this time, meant more 15 years later than it did. So it wasn't that, of course I understand what was being said, but now you're talking about till death us do part, in sickness and in health. We'd been in sickness and in health, the haves and the have-nots and everything that comes along with the sanctity and the seriousness of the ceremony. Because when you kind of dissect the words, now we've lived this for 15 years.
You know what it means. You literally know what it means.
Absolutely. So it meant so much more. So to have to look after Patrick's heart in 1996, yeah, it could have been, oh yeah, sure, no problem, of course I can do that. But now 15 years later, oh my gosh, there's an awesome responsibility.
Wow, that's awesome. Well, thank you. Thank you. You're watching Lasting Love. And when we come back,
words that affirm your spouse, words that empower them, words that build them up, as opposed to, why did you, and you should have, and you didn't, and it's all your fault. Use words that will empower them, that will build them up, even if they're having a bad day. Boost them up so they can walk out the house feeling like $1 million and will want to come back home and not go somewhere else.
that's after the break. Please stay with us.
We'll be right back. It is a lasting love.
You're welcome back, and this is Lasting Love. In case you're just joining us, I've been talking with Patrick and Claudine Reid, and today we're talking about the love language. Yes, we're talking about the love language, but before we go into that, Patrick, I want you to tell me exactly what, in your own opinion, is marriage?
Oh, that's a very good question. Marriage is a combination of love. It's a combination of a journey. It's a combination of a new lifestyle and sharing. Love is a commitment, and now you're committing yourself to one individual to go on a life's journey together. And so you get that partnership where I'm sticking with this individual because on this journey, I want to give my heart to her, I want to give my soul to her, I want to give everything to her. But everything we face, we can face it together. And together we can defeat all of life's, whatever life has to throw at us, but also we can benefit from all what life has to us. We can enjoy life, we can love life, and we can take on life together. So marriage is about taking on the joys, the sadness, the highs, the lows, together with someone that you're deeply in love with and that loves you. So it's two of you taking on whatever life has to throw at you, or whatever life pops up at you, you can take it on together to enjoy it, to champion it, and really sharing whatever comes and being happy together. I think that's what marriage is.
But Claudine, what do you think was actually on God's mind when he instituted marriage?
What do I think was on God's mind when he instituted marriage?
Yeah.
I think this has to be about the creation and the development of the family unit according to the way how God sees it. So one man, one woman, bringing all the skills and the characteristics with those two different genders so that you can bring up children or family within that unit. They then become the force, that unit then becomes a force to deal with life. All the things that Patrick spoke about, the ups, the downs, the highs, the lows.
Wow.
I like that.
Yeah. Now, Patrick, what is love language?
Love language is it's a breakdown of characteristics of what lights your passion about an individual or about a relationship. At the end of the day, there are different things that will attract people. Some say, and I'm putting in the crude sense for a man, some will be a leg man, some will be a thigh man, some will be a wing man, to keep it clean. But you have different things that you'll be attracted in a woman.
Sure.
So that speaks to you more than anything else. So when you look at the love language in marriage, you could be trying to turn your woman on and you probably rubbing her legs. Well, she don't like her legs rubbed. But if you went and hoovered the floor for her and up the stairs, you've done that for me.
Yeah, say that
Acts
again.
of service. She would like her man to just take some responsibility. You've done the dishes for me. Oh, thank you. And you can get whatever you want that night. Hello.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So it could be acts of service. But then others, it could be words of affirmation. If you letting your darling know how intelligent and beautiful she is and how I couldn't survive without you because you make my whole world rock. Now, words of affirmation are something that will turn a guy on, turn a woman on. A lot of times, what you get in the family is, you haven't done the dishes, you ain't done this, and they're always negative. What you ain't, why are you going to put on a glove? Well, why don't you fix up yourself? Why don't you turn on the other hand and tell her how beautiful she is and what she has done? Words of affirmation. The way I look at things, I allow Claudine to become all who she is. So I let her know she's phenomenal. I let her know that she can do them. Some things she's a bit shy and she's unsure of. I tell her, yes, you can. And I will open up the doors to make that happen for you. I push her into places she don't want to go because of uncertainty. I let her know she's able to do it and assist her into doing it so she achieves more. It's about her growing into the woman that she wants to be and knowing that there is even more. And if you have someone by your side telling you that you can, as a man, you want that affirmation to know, yes, you can achieve this, you can fulfill this. It is so empowering.
It is.
And that's where love language, what tickles your fancy? What sets your flame of fire? What will make us have a lovely night tonight? You need to know that.
Absolutely. That was actually going to be my next question for Claudine, that how do you know your own love language or your spouse's love language?
That's a really interesting question. And I think it's not something that happens in a day. We're on a journey of discovery, and I think it's important for the viewers, for people who are contemplating marriage or for those who are married, to know that this is about a journey of discovery. And as Patrick said, your love language might just be, I want to spend time walking around the park, or we just want to go for a walk together, but actually, which is quality time, but actually a spouse might just don't want to. It's not that doesn't float their boat. It's not that doesn't, do for them what it does for you, but they may need something else. But that comes with discovery. It comes with, what's the response when I do acts of service? What's the response, or how do you feel when we spend time together? How do you feel when there's words of affirmation? And so this is about discovery. It's about knowing yourself, which when we think back to your first question, if you're thinking of getting married, you must be able to know yourself and know who you are. Sure. And it doesn't mean that you won't change or develop and morph into something bigger, better and wiser. But I think it's about that journey of discovery.
Right, so there are different types of love languages now. Can we mention them?
Yes, so there's quality time.
Quality time.
Yes, there's acts of service, so doing something for your spouse that you that they need, but you may not like. So maybe for men, most men don't like washing dishes, do they, Patrick?
I'm easy.
But you wash the dishes as an act of service, not because you like it, but because somebody else. It's not that they like it, everybody eats out of the dishes, but it's service. It's service. Quality time, acts of service, words of affirmation. Saying, Patrick said this earlier on, saying nice things, turning that negative into a positive, and trying to see the humorous side of the situation in order to not have conflict, or to minimize conflict, and have a harmonious home.
Wow. Okay, so are there only 3?
5.
There's 5.
Can we mention them then?
Yes, so let's do them all together.
Yes,
so we've got quality time.
Quality time.
Acts of service.
Sorry, the quality time, and it is spending time with your spouse.
Spending quality time.
Quality.
So not screen time, let's watch the football game together, or let's watch
what's wrong with football?
So does it mean you have to put everything aside and just sit down and start looking into each other's eyes? Is that quality time?
It could be a walk in the park. It could be looking into each other's eyes, but it's about you two spending time together.
And putting every other thing aside.
No
Put the children to bed. Turn off the mobile phones, put them on silent, no disruption.
Don't you think that would be difficult to achieve in this day and age?
No.
Do you know what? I think if your relationship is important, I think you'll make it work.
I think that's right.
Yeah?
So quality time.
Words of affirmation, words that affirm your spouse, words that empower them, words that build them up, as opposed to why did you, and you should have, and you didn't, and it's all your fault. Use words that will empower them, that will build them up, even if they're having a bad day. Boost them up so they can walk out the house feeling like $1 million and will want to come back home and not go somewhere else.
Right, the third one.
Physical touch. So Patrick spoke earlier on about the leg stroking or whatever else wants to be stroked. But some people like to be touched. You find where that spot or that place is and touch them.
Right. That's the third one. And what's the fourth one?
Receiving gifts, that's the one. So your spouse may receive love through a gift, as opposed to spending time. That gift says, you were listening to me. That gift says, you know what I like. That gift says, I was on your mind whilst you were away. That gift says, I knew I was thinking about you. I bought this just for you.
And these are important for any marriage to thrive, isn't it?
Absolutely, I believe so. And it's the couple's journey of discovery to find out which one works for them.
Or 2.
Yeah.
Or 3.
There could be a couple or 3, yeah.
Is it possible to have all of them? Unrealistic.
I think you'll lead with 1 or 2, not necessarily all of them. I was making a reference to a fruit bowl. Yeah. You might like everything in the fruit bowl, but you have a particular proclivity to one particular piece of fruit. It doesn't mean that the others are not good for you. It doesn't mean that you don't like them, but there is just one that you think, oh my gosh, I really love that one.
That's my favorite. That rocks my boat every time. I love fruit. But you give me a mango, it's all over. That is my favorite.
So can I just ask you, Patrick, what exactly is Claudine's love language?
That's
and how did you discover?
I discovered that quality time is Claudine's love language. She always likes to have time together when she is the main focus for me, I'm the main focus for her, and the whole world just drifts away into oblivion. You know what I'm saying? We become the main focus and nothing else distracts. And you know, you go to a restaurant and everybody's on their phone. This is on, she's on the phone, he's on the phone, everyone's on their phone doing their own thing. And that phone has taken over our lives. But if she says, I'll put that away, I'm focused on you, you've sacrificed everything for the one you love. And that really makes her feel special.
Why not?
It gets her every time. Oh yeah.
And is that our only one? Is that the only love language?
I think she likes gifts as well. I think she likes gifts as well, but I think that quality time is her favorite. That really, I think, gets to the heart.
Okay. Oh, thank you for that. I want you to encourage couples out there. Trust me, a lot of people don't actually know what their love language is or are. So I need you to encourage them, or rather to inspire them on how to know, to discern, to know exactly what their love language is, please.
That's a very good point. I think it's very essential to find out what rocks that person's boat. You tend to find if they've been brought up in a home where they've been battered with words, negativity that's been vomited at them, and they feel so low self-esteem, no aspiration, just feeling negative. And they also, in essence, pulling themselves down all the time. And you share words which strengthen, you share words which encourage them and make them know how phenomenal they are. That might be what does it. And it may be acts of service, you know, if you're hoovering the floor, if you're washing the dishes, you're looking after that, washing the car, whatever, you look at their response. What puts that sparkle in their eye? What makes you have great activities that night?
Absolutely.
You know, whatever it is that really, lights a flame, a roaring fire in their eyes, in their heart. Search for that. It's all about how can I make you happy, and then bring you to an ecstasy by what I do. What is that language that will take you to that height that I can do or discover within you and repeatedly do and get that same result? I think that is so important to any relationship, but especially in marriage. Find out your spouse's love language and really put that out there, discover it, and flourish that person. Just pour it on them, or wash them with their love language when you want, especially to make them feel on top of the world. It's very important.
Wow, awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much. I have been empowered myself. At least it's very clear now. I know exactly, just as you were talking, I know exactly what my love language is. So thank you for sharing that.
That's good.
It's been a pleasure having you here today. I can only pray for you that what the Lord has started in your lives and in your home, it will perfect in Jesus' name. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much. Wow, it's been an exciting time today. I have learned something new about love language. Today I have learned about quality time, act of service, words of affirmation, physical touch, and gifts, receiving gifts. And those are the 5 love languages that you should know and you should have. If you don't know what yours is, please find out. Ask your spouse, and it will make your marriage better. Until next week, when I come your way again, I am still Funmi Adeyi. I'll see you next week. Bye for now.